Hi, I'm Lindsay Wayland, and welcome to United Tribes of Bristol Bay's first Smokehouse Chat, where we provide updates and info on our unified efforts to protect Bristol Bay. Today, we're going to talk about the latest info on the Pebble Mine and what you can do to help. Since Donald Trump was elected, the Canadian mining company behind Pebble has been gaining momentum in its effort to build a toxic mine. A mine that would be built at the headwaters of our watershed, which sustains the cultures of our Indigenous people and an over 100-year-old sustainable commercial salmon fishery that provides over half the world's wild salmon. We're here today because Trump's EPA is now working to withdraw the protections that our people have fought for a decade to secure. Just a quick recap on how we got here. Remember back to 2010, Bristol Bay's tribes petitioned the EPA to protect Bristol Bay using a provision of the Clean Water Act. In response, the EPA did an extensive 3-year scientific assessment of Bristol Bay's watershed. The impact that mines like Pebble would have on the fishery based on that assessment showed that it concluded that Bristol Bay is home to the world's last great wild salmon run, and that mines like Pebble would devastate the fishery and therefore all it sustains. Then, fast forward to 2014, the EPA used their authority under Section 404C of the Clean Water Act to start the process to limit Pebble and the Pebble development to protect Bristol Bay. The finalization of those protections was stalled after Pebble launched a series of lawsuits intended to delay the process. With the protections on hold while the legal process dragged on, Donald Trump was elected. His new EPA leadership and Pebble brokered a deal to start the process to remove the protections for Bristol Bay. EPA started that process in July of this past summer, 2017, during the middle of the salmon season, when everyone was out fishing during a record-breaking year where over 60 million salmon returned home to Bristol Bay. EPA is doing this for one reason and one reason only: pure politics. The science of the watershed assessment has not changed. The dedication of Bristol Bay's people to protect our home and the 1.5 million people who weighed in and supported EPA action to protect our region has not changed. Pebble is still too great a risk for our fishery. It has always been and will always be the wrong mine in the wrong place. So, where do we go from here? The comment period on EPA's proposal to roll back the protections ends on October 17th, just a few weeks from now. We need every Bristol Bay resident, every Alaskan, and every person who cares about our salmon and our watershed to tell the EPA not to roll back those protections. You can do so by going to the link below this video that will take you to a take action letter of United Tribes of Bristol Bay's website. And you can do so at 2 EPA hearings that are going to be held here in Bristol Bay in the month of October. The EPA is coming to hear from Bristol Bay and Dillingham on October 11th and Iliamna on October 12th. We need everyone to show up and tell the EPA to protect Bristol Bay, to not roll back the protections we have fought so long and so hard for. You can get more info on the hearings in the comment section of this post below. So, a big thank you for joining us today and for standing with us to fight for Bristol Bay. Together we will protect our right to clean water and all the life it sustains in our region.